into the legal system. Okay? Okay. Did I answer the question?
You did.
Okay, very good. Yes.
Hi, Dr. Wallach. God bless you for your work you're doing.
Well, thank you. Very kind. I love God.
Amen. I believe it. About 2 weeks ago, I was taken to the emergency because I had a racy heart. And they did all of the preliminary tests. They said my heart was fine. They still want to do like a heart monitor and ultrasound
One that they
on my
put
heart.
on you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, now that's benign. That's fine.
Okay. And they had me on, I was already on the water pill. And then they put me on verapamil, I think it's
Rapamil, okay.
the lower dose.
Slow the heart down. Okay, now, let me ask you a couple of questions. Is that the first time you've had an episode like that?
I had one back in 2009 because I hemorrhaged. So my heart,
Sure, speaking of, when you get anemic for any reason, whether it's hemorrhage or nutritional deficiency, your heart goes faster.
and then in my 40s, I think I used to wake up and have the rapid, but it was stopped.
How old are you now?
I'm 55,
55. How tall are you?
about 5'3" and 3/4.
5'3" and 3/4. Now, have you shrunk any? Have you shrunk a half inch or maybe an inch since you were 20 years old?
No,
Would you better dinner on that?
no.
Okay. Yeah, you need to
Because
measure.
they
How
just
tall?
measured me, but she wasn't sure because the way I had my hair that day, so she wasn't sure whether I shrunk or not.
Yeah. So, I'm going to say something here in a minute, but I want to ask you a couple more questions. Do you have any history of any skin problems or asthma?
No,
Any of your children or brothers and sisters?
no.
Okay. Any
Oh,
bowel?
I'm sorry, my sister.
Oh, your sister has what?
She has asthma.
Has asthma? Okay. Then you've got gluten intolerance. She's got gluten intolerance, right? And bowel problems, constipation, diarrhea, irritable bowel syndrome, colitis, diverticulitis, appendicitis, all that stuff. Anybody in your family have appendicitis?
No.
Okay, but you do have a gluten intolerance because your sister got asthma.
I was working on that, but to hear you talk, I'm not gluten-free. I thought I was, but then you were talking about the environment also.
You got gluten intolerance.
I believe it.
You can't deny it, dear. Okay.
No.
Now, the reason I ask you if you shrunk any is because there's a thing called atrial fibrillation. Did the doctor talk about AFib or atrial fibrillation?
He said something about sinusitis.
Okay. Yeah, sinus arrhythmias and that sort of thing.
Something like
yeah.
that.
That's the thing that controls the rate of your heart in the heart. But the main thing, somebody want to close that door back there, please? Thank you. But the main thing that controls the rate and rhythm of your heart are the spinal nerves coming out from between T1, 2, 3, and 4, the thoracic vertebrae, the first four vertebrae in your back, after your neck, and then there's T1, 2, 3, and 4. When the discs shrink there, those vertebrae get closer together, and they smash the roots of the spinal nerves that control the rate and rhythm of the heart. Now, did these things happen when you were laying down, or sitting down, or getting up, or reaching up, or when did it happen?
You mean the heart rate?
The rapid heart rate.
I was actually asleep, and they kept asking me, did it
Okay,
happen?
so you were laying down. Okay.
Because when I would sit up, I noticed it would be a calm.
Okay,
when
it
I
got
was-
it calmer when you sat down, when you sat up.
When I sat up.
Okay. Well, this is a positional thing. This means that your vertebrae are squeezing the roots of those nerves. Either you got a bone spur on them, a calcium deposit, which is osteoporosis, or you've shrunk and those discs are thinner than normal and the vertebrae are squeezing the roots of the nerves. Now, this is actually called atrial fibrillation. Doctors will install defibrillators, pacemakers. They may have talked to you about that's a possibility in the future.
No.
They will kill parts of your heart muscle with electric shock to see if they can find the part that's running wild, as they call it. They can also then do a retroversion, which they electrocute you to death, hoping to reboot your heart rhythm. And then they can do a heart transplant, none of which is going to work because it's a back problem, not a heart problem. Your insurance company will pay out $500,000 to the doctor for a problem you do not have.
They did say I had stenosis.
Say again?
Stenosis.
I can't understand what you're saying.
Oh, they did say I had something called stenosis, where the spine is narrowing. Stenosis.
Oh, stenosis, spinal stenosis. Yeah, it could be
Yes.
spinal stenosis.
Yes, they said that I did have that.
Oh, there you go. There you had a back problem. Okay. And was it up in your back, high in your back, or low?
I'm not sure. I'm thinking lower, and then I have herniated disc also. from
Well,
years
there you
ago.
go. Okay, there's the disc problems. Okay, so Yeah, this racing thing when you're laying down is due to degenerative disc disease. You sit up, it goes away. And so what I want you to do, what do you weigh?
About 150.
150. I want you to take 2 healthy bone and joint packs per month. Take a full dose of everything twice a day except for the glucose gel. I want you to take 15 a day, 5 at breakfast, 5 at lunch, 5 at dinner. All that will be accomplished by the 2 healthy bone and joint packs. You can go ahead and put the CM cream on your neck, just like a teaspoon, put it on your neck right down the middle and the first 4 or 5 or 6 vertebrae in your upper back between your shoulder blades and on an inch on either side. You use the CM cream. And it'll be very interesting. Take your pulse. You have one of these watches or devices that'll take your pulse. You can take your pulse twice a day. Just record it in a logbook. But sit there and for 10 minutes and calm down before you take your pulse, so you're kind of in the same situation all the time.
Okay.
And then give us a call. But the odds are it's AFib, which is caused by a back problem, not a heart problem.
Okay. Thank you.
You bet. Okay, your turn.
Good afternoon, Dr.
Good afternoon.
Wallach. It's awesome you being here.
Well, thank you. Very kind.
I have a family member that's been dealing with COPD.
COPD, okay, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, okay.
Okay, and on top of it, they've been dealing with arthritis, like in their back and in their knees.
Sure.
What can be done with that right
Okay, is this a big person? Do they weigh 200 pounds or 100 pounds? Or?
200 pounds. They're a little shorter than me.
Okay, so 200 pounds. How old are they?
72.
72, okay. Well, COPD can be caused by smoking. It can be caused by eating lots of fried foods and getting scar tissue in the lungs. It could be a chartered order cook inhaling, the vapors from frying foods. It could be caused by working with chemicals and dust. It can be caused just by eating fried foods yourself and causing the arteries in your lungs to get scarred up and plugged up. And so what I want them to do if they weigh 200 pounds is to take 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month. 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month. Then I want them to take the Ultimate Daily Classic, 3 of those twice a day, okay? 2 bottles a month, the Ultimate Daily Classic, and this is to dilate the arteries in the lungs, get more blood flowing through there. I also want to take 2 a day, 1 at breakfast, 1 at dinner time, of the Ultimate Cardio Sticks. Tear open the top, pour in a bottle of water, let them drink it at breakfast and dinner time. And, of course, none of the bad stuff. Got to get rid of all the inflammatory things that have done this. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no gluten. I would also throw in one more thing, which is an oxygen supplement. It's called Oxybody. They can take an ounce an hour before each meal. If it's a financial problem, they don't have to do it, but it'll speed things up. They can take an ounce like an hour before breakfast, an hour before lunch, hour before dinner, or not at all. But it'll help things go faster because it's an oxygen supplement is what it is. Oxybody, okay? Comes in quart jars. Okay, God bless. Okay, back to the center here.
Thank you for coming.
Well, you're welcome.
My question is very simple. I was diagnosed with a thyroid disorder about 20 years ago.
Okay, low thyroid or hyperthyroid?
I lost weight.
I'm sorry?
I lost a lot of weight.
Oh, you lost a lot of weight. Okay, it
yes.
could be hyperthyroidism.
Yes. So they put me on Synthroid, and I was told I would have to take this pill for the rest of my life, and that's what I wanted.
Did they take your thyroid out or kill it with?
They shrunk it with the iodine.
They shrunk it with radioactive iodine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but you still have it in there.
I think
Or is it
I
gone?
do. You tell me, you're the doctor.
Okay.
But they shrunk it with the iodine. That's what they did, opposed to surgery.
Okay,
So I'm taking this
Okay.
pill, and I want to know, do I
and
have
so
to
we
take
don't know if it's functional
I guess I don't.
because you're taking hormones, right?
Right.
Okay. Okay, and?
So I wanted to know, do I have to take this
Okay.
medication?
Okay.
for the
Well,
rest
I would have them do a blood test and see what's going on, with the hormones in your thyroid, the hormones for your pituitary, TSH and thyroxine and stuff. And they could give you a clue whether your thyroid is dead or alive, so to speak. But in the meantime, what you want to do is get rid of all the bad stuff out of your life, the fried foods, the processed meats, the oils, the gluten. And you also want to get rid of cruciferous vegetables. Anytime you have anything wrong with your thyroid, you want to get rid of cruciferous vegetables. That means no broccoli, no cabbage, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, or kale, because they interfere with thyroid. And then you want to take, in addition to 2 healthy brain and heart packs, one full dose of breakfast, 1 full dose of dinner time. That'll last you a month. 2 full doses of the healthy brain and heart pack per month. You also want to throw in what we call the Ocean's Gold. Go ahead and take 3 of those at breakfast, 3 at dinner time, 2 bottles a month. And that was how long ago they did that with the iodine?
About 20 years.
22
About
years?
20 years ago.
Okay, 22 years ago, okay. And so the problem hasn't come back or anything?
They just check my levels, tell me if I need more or less.
Okay,
Yes.
sure. Okay, well, let's just do that. Okay?
Thank you.
You bet. Okay,
Hi,
question?
good afternoon. I was diagnosed with alopecia, and I was told that because of my thyroid condition, I take the Synthroid, that it would be irreversible. So I wanted to know if there's some
Okay.
possibility
So
that
you
that
have
can...
alopecia universalis, kind of loss of hair loss everywhere? kind of
Not
thing?
everywhere.
Primarily here?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, interesting, the Japanese have done lots of research on male pattern baldness. I am very
Yeah.
interested in that, obviously,
Yeah.
in the research. And they say that male pattern baldness, primarily the head, is due to a tin deficiency. So the nice thing about our minerals is it has a lot of tin. And I'd say 12, 15 years ago, I mean, I was like Yul Brynner. There was nothing up there. So I've grown a lot of hair since I've been really upping my mineral intake, probably because of the tin. But I've also been gluten-free so I can absorb stuff. And so are these your real eyebrows?
Yes.
Okay, that's good.
Yes.
That's very good. And so I would go with 2 of the Healthy Brain and Heart packs per month, a full dose of everything twice a day, 2 Healthy Brain and Heart packs per month. And then we have what we call hair, skin, and nails. Go ahead and get 2 bottles of that a month, take 3 at breakfast, 3 at dinner time, and get rid of all the bad stuff. All righty?
So that biotin, is that something that's... Biotin, have you heard of that? Biotin? Many people have suggested that for hair, nails.
You're talking about eating buffalo meat, bison?
No. Biotin. No? Okay. All right,
Yeah.
thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes.
Thank you for being here.
Very sweet. Thank you.
I've been diagnosed with PMR, polymyelitis rheumatica.
Okay.
And I had a triple bypass 8 years ago. I still have ongoing cardiac issues, so I'm on Brilinta and several other medications.
Sure.
So my question is, the PMR is kicking my butt. And I want to know how to ease some of the pain and the discomfort from that disease.
Okay, BMR?
Polymyelitis rheumatica.
Okay. Yeah, another name for it is fibromyalgia. And
They
so
told me that it was different from fibromyalgia because they said it was worse. I don't want to be worse, but
Well-
I had 2 doctors tell me that there was a
Yeah, well, the
difference.
rheumatica piece is more in the joints than the soft tissue, but it's a similar
It's
disease.
both.
Yeah, and both of them are related to lupus and kind of things, kind of a cousin to lupus also.
Oh,
And so what you want to do is get off of gluten, no wheat, no barley, rye, no oats. I'd go ahead and take 2 of the Healthy Brain and Heart packs per month, a full dose of everything at breakfast and full dose of everything at dinner time. Get yourself 2 bottles of the large glucogel, so you can take 15 a day, 5 at breakfast, 5 at lunch, 5 at dinner. And for the discomfort, what you need to do is take what we call the CM Plus capsules. Take 3 of those twice a day. And it's going to be a universal anti-inflammatory, analgesic, pain-relieving thing. And don't cold turkey off of any medication, particularly the pain stuff. And so what you want to do is like, how often do you see the doctor?
every couple of months.
Every couple of months, okay.
Yeah.
So you start this now, and again, no fried foods, processed meats, oils, or gluten. And then when you go see him, say, you know, I'm feeling pretty good. I've been changing my diet and taking some supplements. And can you possibly reduce the
Medication.
prescription of or 1 or so of these medications? Let the guy who wrote the prescription do that. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome. Okay, over here, yes.
Yes, hi, good afternoon. I have a child that was diagnosed with ADHD at the age of 5, and he's been on medication since then.
Ritalin?
No, Adderall, XR.
Adderall, okay.
Yeah. So, do you have any recommendation?
Sure. And again, this is kind of the second time we've touched on this, and so I want